Want to speak real Italian from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at ItalianPod101.com.
Want to finally start speaking in your target language? In this guide, you'll discover the top 7 ways to practice speaking on your own with our lessons. Let's begin. Number 1, shadowing. Shadowing is a proven learning technique where all you do is repeat what you hear in order to practice speaking. So, access any audio or video lesson on the site and press the play button to start. Then, as you listen or watch, just repeat the conversations. Or, even easier, read along out loud with the dialogue section. The script is right there in front of you. With our lessons, you can master entire conversations, just like that. Number 2, read out loud. I just mentioned it, but reading out loud is another powerful tactic and deserves its own mention. With every lesson, you get written transcripts and translations. So, as you play the lesson, read the dialogue out loud as you hear it. Why? By reading out loud, you're also practicing your speaking skills. You can do this with the lesson notes, the lesson transcript, or the dialogue tool. With the dialogue tool, you can listen to each line again and again, and repeat out loud until you master them all. Number 3, speed up your reading to speed up your speaking. Being able to speak without thinking is a sign of language mastery. If you're talking to a native and can respond quickly, they'll assume that you're fairly fluent. How can you do this? When you read out loud, try increasing your speed a little bit every time. So, start by reading with the dialogue tool. If you're like most learners, you'll read the first line slowly. That's because you're still getting used to the words, which is okay. Reread it. On your second try, you know most of the words, and you'll read a little faster. Reread it again. On your third try, you'll be even faster, at a native speaker's speed. And being able to read these phrases out loud and fast will help you speak fast. Number 4, record and compare yourself with native speakers. In order to sound like a native speaker, you must imitate native speakers. So here's how. Access the voice recorder, which is in the dialogue study tool in every lesson. Click on the microphone icon. Listen to the native speaker's audio, and then record yourself. You can then compare the 2 recordings side by side, and practice and try again and again until you perfect your pronunciation. Number 5, get feedback from our Premium Plus teacher. If you're learning by yourself and don't have access to real teachers, then you can always get feedback from our Premium Plus teachers. With the My Teacher tool, you can record yourself speaking and send the audio file to the teacher. They'll review it and tell you what to improve and how. That's it. Number 6, level up your speaking with Premium Plus assignments. With Premium Plus, you can also get assignments that cover reading, writing, listening, and even speaking from your teacher. These assignments can be tailored to your goals and needs. You get a new one every week, or anytime you're ready for a new one. Number 7, get even more lessons in the lesson library. If you want even more lessons on speaking and conversations, visit our lesson library and under Category, choose Conversation. You'll get all of the pathways and lessons that are focused on speaking. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share it with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way, and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. I'll see you next time. Bye!
Hi everybody, Marika here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Italian questions. The question for this lesson is, what's the difference between potere and riuscire? Riuscire and potere are 2 verbs we use very often in Italian. Sometimes their meanings overlap, but other times they mean completely different things. Potere is translated as to be able to or can. It indicates the capacity and or possibility to do a determinate action. For example, non devi cucinare, posso farlo io. You don't have to cook, I can do it. Potere is an irregular verb, but more importantly, it's a modal verb. Modal verbs are used to give additional information about the main verb. As with other modal verbs, potere is almost always followed by an infinitive verb without a linking preposition. For example, posso andare alla festa? Can I go to the party? Sometimes we can use another verb, riuscire. In English, this can be translated in the same way as potere. However, riuscire has a slightly different meaning. Its meaning is somewhere between the English verbs to be able to and to succeed. Let's see some examples. Non riesco a dormire, c'è troppo rumore. I can't sleep, there's too much noise. Sono riuscito ad arrivare in tempo. I managed to arrive on time. Please also note that riuscire needs the preposition a in front of the infinitive. It's not always easy to grasp the difference between these two verbs. Look at these sentences. Ho 15 anni. Non posso guidare. I'm 15. I can't drive. It's the same as saying, I'm not allowed to drive. Sono troppo stanca. Non riesco a guidare. I'm too tired. I can't drive. It's the same as saying, even if I tried, I couldn't. Here is another example that may help. We can translate I can't sleep at the office in two different ways in Italian. One is non posso dormire in ufficio. The other one, non riesco a dormire in ufficio. The first one is the most likely, as it means that I can't sleep because of the office rules. The second one, instead, means something like I can't manage sleeping at the office. The speaker can't sleep not because of the rules, but because of the noise or another secondary reason. Sometimes it doesn't matter which verb you choose. For example, you could say non posso venire alla festa or non riesco a venire alla festa. Though their nuance is different, the meaning is the same. I can't go to the party. To recap, keep in mind that there are some situations where you can't use riuscire to express the same meaning. Situations like when you ask for permission, posso uscire? Can I go out? When you ask for someone's help, qualcuno può aiutarmi? Can anyone help me? When you make a suggestion, potresti provare? Could you try? Pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. A presto, see you soon! Hi everybody, Marika here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Italian questions. The question for this lesson is, what does it mean when people say that Italian is a Romance language? Well, in this case, romance probably isn't the kind of romance that you're thinking of, with hearts, roses, and people falling in love. Romance actually refers to a family of languages. The Romance family is originally from Western and Southern Europe. For example, you might have noticed that Spanish and French are very similar to Italian, especially when they compare to other languages. You are seeing the family resemblance. They are all Romance languages. And their common ancestor is Latin. Latin is an ancient language, and it's no longer widely used as part of public life. Latin emerged on the Italian peninsula as early as the 8th century BC. After the collapse of the Roman Empire, some 12 centuries later, vernacular forms of the language were given new space to develop. During the early modern period, emerging nation-states standardized these forms and made them into the Romance languages we know today. These Romance languages later spread from Europe to Africa, the Americas, and even as far as Southeast Asia and Oceania. Italian has actually stayed the closest to its Latin roots, especially in terms of vocabulary. Romance languages farther away from Italy aren't quite as close to Latin as Italian, but they share the same roots. That's why Romance languages are sometimes also called Neo-Latin languages. Pretty cool, right? Do you have any more questions? Leave them in the comments below and I'll try to answer them. A presto! See you soon! Hi everybody, Marika here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Italian questions. The question for this lesson is, do Italians only speak Italian, or are there other languages commonly spoken in Italy? Italian is such a famous and beautiful language that many people only know about Standard Italian. However, that's only half the story. Actually, many Italians are native bilinguals. Italian is the most widely spoken language in Italy, but there are lots of regional languages or dialects called dialetti. People don't really use dialects in official or formal settings. That's why Italian is the official language of Italy. It's necessary to have a common language everyone can understand and use together. For the most part, dialects are only spoken and used in casual situations. A few of the major dialects might sound familiar to you. The major ones are Napolitan, Sicilian, Sardinian, Venetian, and Friulan, and there are a lot more. You probably won't be able to find a full list of dialetti online. There are two main reasons why. Dialects don't have a written literature, so few documents have been written about them. In fact, most children learn a dialetto at the same time they learn Standard Italian. The difference is that Italian is what's used in schools, while dialects are used with family and friends. Some people consider dialects as the only language that can truly express one's innermost feelings. Unfortunately, many children today don't learn any dialetti at all. So, if you go to Italy and you overhear an unfamiliar phrase, it might not even be in Italian. It could be a phrase from one of the many Italian dialects. Isn't that interesting? If you have any more questions, leave them in the comments below. A presto! See you soon! Hi everybody, Marika here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Italian questions. The question for this lesson is, what are some examples of Italian loanwords we use in everyday English? You may not know it, but you probably use some Italian every day. Did you know that bravo, dilemma, and paparazzi are Italian words? English is full of Italian loanwords. We use them in almost every aspect of our lives, especially in art, music, cuisine, and architecture. The most obvious is probably cuisine. I'm sure you've seen silly people try to imitate Italian by saying spaghetti, cappuccino, espresso, mozzarella, macaroni. Well, they're actually Italian words. You might have seen al dente or pasta fresca, which means fresh pasta, on English pasta packages. Those are two different ways to prepare pasta. Did you know that the words zucchini and broccoli are also from Italian? Music and art also have plenty of Italian loanwords. Take finale, scenario, solo, and concerto. Those are all commonly used in English. There are lots more on a technical level too, like forte, fortissimo, piano, pianissimo, motto, stanza. In arts and architecture, studio, villa, graffiti, veranda, and ghetto, as well as apartment from appartamento, are all Italian loanwords. The list doesn't end here. Umbrella comes from the Italian ombrello, lottery comes from lotteria, and tombola is also an Italian game. Madonna, monsignor, and padre are all loanwords related to religion. Scherzo in Italian means joke, and novel comes from the Italian novella. Sonnet comes from sonetto. Italian is everywhere. Be careful with some loanwords though. The Italian word doesn't always mean the same thing in English. For example, manifesto in Italian means poster. English loanwords don't always follow Italian grammar either. Zucchini and macaroni are spelled differently in Italian. English words like panini and salami are mistakenly used in the plural form. Pretty interesting, right? Do you have any more questions? Leave them in the comments and I'll try to answer them. A presto! See you soon! Hi everybody! Marika here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Italian questions. The question for this lesson is, does Italian have any false friends words that look the same in English but mean something different? The answer is yes. The term false friends is the perfect name for these words. They are like people who look really familiar but are actually total strangers. We'll go through some of the most common ones, so you can avoid miscommunications when you're speaking Italian. If your Italian partner is going to introduce you to his or her parenti, you'll be meeting their relatives, not just the parents. The word parents is genitori in Italian. Also, if you see the word sale in a supermarket, don't think you're getting a discount. Sale is actually the Italian word for salt. If someone describes you as educato or educata, they are usually not talking about your education. They are saying that you are polite. And if you work in a factory, don't say you work in a fattoria. That means you work on a farm. If you are a librarian, don't work in a libreria, because that's bookshop. So don't think that you can borrow books there for free. Make sure you don't offer to take pictures with your camera. That means room. You take pictures on your macchina fotografica. Pay attention to adverbs too. Attualmente means currently in Italian. The Italian for actually is in realtà. Definitely doesn't translate as definitivamente either. That means ultimately. Lastly, when you're talking about an event that's coming up later than expected, don't use eventualmente for eventually. Eventualmente means possibly, and, of course, there are many more. Got it? Keep the questions coming. If you have another question, leave it in the comments and I'll try to answer it. A presto! See you soon! Hi everybody, Marika here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Italian questions. The question for this lesson is, what are masculine and feminine nouns and how are they different? In Italian, all nouns have a gender. A noun can either be masculine or feminine. That applies to plural nouns too, and to all the words that can modify nouns, such as articles and adjectives. Other Romance languages have similar system of masculine and feminine nouns. It's a trait that comes from Latin. The gender depends on the origin of the Latin word. English doesn't have masculine and feminine nouns though. So the easiest way for English speakers to tell a noun's gender is by looking at the last letter of the noun. If a noun ends with O in the singular and E in the plural, it's usually masculine. If a noun ends with A in the singular and E in the plural, it's usually feminine. For example, sedia, meaning chair, ends with an A, so it's feminine. La sedia. In the plural, le sedie. Libro, meaning book, ends with an O, so it's masculine. Il libro. And in the plural, I libri, ending with an I. The OI for masculine and AE for feminine rule doesn't always work though. Most of the time, but not always. There are some exceptions like la moto, meaning the bike, which is feminine, and il problema, meaning the problem, which is actually masculine. To make things even more complicated, there is a third class of nouns ending with E in the singular and I in the plural. These can be masculine or feminine depending on the word. That's why it's important to learn nouns and their respective genders together with the right definite articles. The definite articles are different from each gender, so they'll help you remember. For example, take bicchiere, meaning glass, which is in that third category of nouns ending in E. The right article for bicchiere is il, so il bicchiere is masculine. How about nave, meaning ship? The right article for this one is la, so la nave is feminine. Again, there is unfortunately no formula to find the right gender. The Latin origins of words go way back, and often people don't know why some words have a certain gender today. Your best guide is going to be our first rule, singular O and plural I for masculine, and singular A, plural E for feminine. Just try to memorize the articles with the nouns, and before you know it, the gender classifications will come naturally to you. Woo! That's it for this lesson. Please send in any more questions you have, and I'll try to answer them. A presto, see you soon! Hi everybody, Marika here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Italian questions. The question for this lesson is, how do you form the plural of nouns? In Italian, just like in English, nouns can be singular or plural depending on what they refer to. To form the plural of Italian nouns, you generally have to change the final letter of the singular form from one vowel to another. Masculine nouns ending in O and A form the plural by changing the final vowel to I. For example, ragazzo, meaning boy, becomes ragazzi in the plural, and the plural of poeta, which means poet, is poeti. Feminine nouns ending in A form the plural by changing the A to E. So, mela, meaning apple, changes to mele when it means apples. Finally, there are also nouns ending in E. Both masculine and feminine nouns that end in E form the plural by changing the final vowel to I. Let's take cane, for example, which means dog, and is masculine. The plural form is cani. Similarly, the plural of chiave, a feminine noun meaning key, is chiavi. However, not all nouns follow these rules. In fact, there are lots of exceptions. Let's see a few of them. Some nouns don't change in the plural. You can still tell if a noun is plural because the definite article or its adjective will be in the plural form, but the noun itself doesn't change. Among the words that remain unchanged in plural, there are all nouns ending in accent vowels like caffè, meaning coffee, or città, meaning city. Foreign nouns ending in a consonant, for example, computer, film, or sport. Singular nouns that end in I, crisi, meaning crisis, or brindisi, meaning toast. Monosyllable nouns, for example, re, which means king. Some nouns have an irregular plural form. For example, man in Italian is uomo, while men is uomini. And there are even Italian nouns that change gender when they become plural. For example, finger is masculine in the singular form, il dito, but becomes feminine in the plural, le dita. Plurals sometimes can be a challenge even for native Italian speakers. However, exceptions are exceptions. You shouldn't obsess over them. Just memorize the few rules I told you in the beginning and go from there. Pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. A presto! See you soon! Hi everybody, Marika here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Italian questions. The question for this lesson is, how are verbs conjugated? English verbs are not heavily inflected. In fact, there are just 3 endings you can add to the infinitive of regular verbs. S for the third person singular present tense, for example, plays. ing for the gerund, playing, and id for the past tense, played. Most combinations of tense, aspect, mood, and voice can be expressed using auxiliary and modal verbs. Italian, on the other hand, is a heavily inflected language. Italian verbs have lots of different endings depending on their subject, tense, and mood. The infinitive is the unconjugated form of the verb, the one you'll find in the dictionary. Italian verbs are divided into 3 main conjugation groups, according to their infinitive endings. Verbs of the first conjugation end in are, for example, parlare, meaning to speak. Verbs of the second conjugation in ere, for example, leggere, meaning to read. Verbs of the third conjugation end in ire, for example, dormire, meaning to sleep. Each group has a different and regular conjugation pattern. Even if there are a lot of irregular verbs, most Italian verbs follow one of these 3 systems of conjugation. Each conjugation pattern has different endings you'll need to add to the verb stem. To get the stem of a verb, all you have to do is take away are, ere, or ire. So the stem of parlare is parl, the stem of leggere is leg, and the stem of dormire is dorm. Verb endings are affected by mood, tense, person, number, and sometimes even gender. Let's take a look. Italian verbs have 4 finite moods. They are the indicative, to express facts, for example, io dormo, I sleep. The imperative, to give orders, for example, dormi, sleep. The subjunctive, to express doubt, hope, fear, and possibility, for example, che io beva, I drink. The conditional, to express an action that depends on another fact that may or may not happen, for example, io leggerei, I would read. There are also 3 non-finite moods, which usually have just one form. The infinitive, which is also the dictionary form, for example, parlare, to speak. The gerund for progressive tenses, for example, leggendo, reading. The participle, generally used as adjective or with the other verbs, for example, parlato, spoken. While mood shows the manner in which an action is expressed, the tense is what specifies when the action happens. The only Italian mood that has all 8 tenses in the indicative, which is also the most used mood. The only present tense is the present, io parlo, I speak. Past tenses include present perfect, io ho parlato, I have spoken. Imperfect, io parlavo, I spoke. Past perfect, io avevo parlato, I had spoken. Absolute past, io parlai, I spoke. Pre-trade perfect, io ebbi parlato, I had spoken. Future tenses are the future, io parlerò, I will speak. The future perfect, io avrò parlato, I will have spoken. The other moods only have a couple of tenses, usually present and past, except for the subjunctive, which has a few more. This looks like a lot, and it actually is one of the most challenging things, even for native speakers. But don't panic. If you get started with the regular verbs in the indicative present tense, you will soon familiarize yourself with the conjugation patterns. Pretty interesting, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment below. A presto! See you soon!
Top 10 phrases your parents always say. So it's something that, if you, for instance, if you go on holidays in Italy, you will hear a lot of parents saying this kind of words, exactly those words, to their kids. Let's start. Stai attento. Be careful. Stai attento. Be careful. Stai attento is pretty much used for everything, you know. For instance, when, you know, a kid starts to run and parents say, stai attento, you know, let's, you know, to bear in mind that, you know, you have to be careful what you do. Fa silenzio. Be quiet. Fa silenzio. Be quiet. Or you can also say fa silenzio, or also stai tranquillo, comportati bene, behave yourself. Comportati bene is like behave yourself, comportati bene. Fai i tuoi compiti, do your homework. Fai i tuoi compiti, do your homework. Va a letto, go to bed. Va a letto, go to bed. Sto per contare fino a 3. I'm going to count to 3. Sto per contare fino a 3. I'm going to count to 3. Okay, this is something that pretty much every kid hear from the parents, is when, for example, they ask you to do something, or, and they give you like the time, so you basically don't have time, you have to do what they say. And so this is the way, sto per contare fino a 3, I'm going to count till 3, 1, 2, 3 is very, very quick. So it basically means that you better listen to them. Fermo, stop. Fermo, stop. I don't know, when you're doing something which is not good, or for instance, the kid is running very fast, and you want to say stop, you say fermo or ferma. Ferma is a female version of it. Cosa hai detto? What did you say? Cosa hai detto? What did you say? A very common question that you can use in very different situations. Cosa hai detto? For instance, when you don't understand when someone is talking about something, you don't understand, and you say, what are you talking about? I don't understand. Not really much like, not like, cosa stai dicendo? It's like more to say, can you repeat please? Non sto scherzando. I'm not kidding. Non sto scherzando. I'm not kidding. You can also say I'm not joking, of course, and it's pretty much the same when parents say non sto scherzando, You better take me seriously, This is pretty much the meaning. Spegni il televisore ora. Turn the TV off now. Spegni il televisore ora. Turn the TV off now. Something very common again that happened that, every kid just hear from the parents. 20 travel phrases you should know. So something quite usual if happens that, for instance, you're going to travel in my country, in Italy. So let's start. Potrei avere una mappa? Could I get a map? Potrei avere una mappa? Could I get a map? Is actually something really useful, especially if you find yourself in a situation where you don't know where you are and you want to ask someone help. Let's say you're going to a local shop and you say, potrei avere una mappa? Parla inglese? Do you speak English? Another useful phrase is parla inglese? Do you speak English? This is something really, really useful when you are abroad and you want to know if someone speaks English, and you say parla inglese? C'è un autobus dall'aeroporto alla città? Is there a bus from the airport to the city? C'è un autobus dall'aeroporto alla città? Is there a bus from the airport to the city? This is specifically from the airport to the city, so dall'aeroporto alla città, from the airport to the city. Dov'è la stazione? Where is the train station? Dov'è la stazione? Where is the train station? So in this case, dov'è la stazione is a bit generic in Italian, because you can say where is the train station, which is dov'è la stazione dei treni, but you can also say dov'è la stazione del bus, where is the autobus station, You should be like specific, because people, they might ask you which station are you looking for, train station or bus station, because they are quite different. Sometimes they are in different places in Italy. Mi scusi, qual è la tariffa? Excuse me, what's the fare? Mi scusi, qual è la tariffa? Excuse me, what's the fare? You can also say mi scusi, quanto costa? È questo l'autobus giusto per l'aeroporto? Is this the right bus for the airport? È questo l'autobus giusto per l'aeroporto? Is this the right bus for the airport? You can also say this with trains, with any kind of public transport really, And also, è questo il treno giusto per l'aeroporto? La connessione Wi-Fi è gratuita? Is the Wi-Fi free? La connessione Wi-Fi è gratuita? Is the Wi-Fi free? Then you can check your maps, watch for public transport yourself, You can also say avete Wi-Fi, which is actually pretty much the same. They will understand what you're talking about. Ha qualche posto libero per stasera? Do you have any vacancies tonight? Ha qualche posto libero per stasera? Do you have any vacancies tonight? In this case, you are talking about hotel rooms or, any kind of place where you can spend the night, where you are abroad as an hotel or a B&B or an apartment, And you can actually say, avete qualche posto libero? Potrei spostarmi in una camera diversa? Could I move to a different room? Potrei spostarmi in una camera diversa? Could I move to a different room? So let's say you just find an hotel, but they give you like a very small room and you need more things, and you can just say, avete un'altra camera? They will understand that you want to change your room basically. Ho prenotato. I have a reservation. Ho prenotato. I have a reservation. So basically when you say ho prenotato, means that you have booked. Potremmo avere il menù, per favore? Could we have the menu, please? So this is about the food. In English you say, could we have the menu, please? And so in Italian you say, potremmo avere il menù, per favore? Potremmo, if you are like loads of people, but if you are by yourself, you say, potrei avere il menù, per favore? And they will understand exactly what you're talking about. Potrei avere il conto? Could I have the check? Potrei avere il conto? Could I have the check? The check is the bill. You finish to eat and you want to know how much the amount, that you have to pay for. So you say, potrei avere il conto, per favore? Sono allergico alle arachidi. I am allergic to peanuts. Sono allergico alle arachidi. I am allergic to peanuts. This is very important, especially if you're allergic to some food, to avoid any problems when you are around for your holidays, And this is actually a very good example when you say, sono allergico. Allergico means that you have an allergy, so you are not able to get this food. So, sono allergico alle arachidi. Sono allergico al gluten, which means like I'm allergic to gluten, for instance, And so on. Acqua, per favore. Water, please. Acqua, per favore. Water, please. Quanto costa? How much is this? Quanto costa? How much is this? Also you can say, mi potrebbe dire quanto costa, per favore? Which means like, could I know how much is that, please, Ne vorrei 10 di questi. I'd like 10 of these. Ne vorrei 10 di questi. I'd like 10 of these. Which is like, let's say you saw something and you want to know just the quantity, you want more than one, and you say, ne vorrei uno, like I want one, ne vorrei due, I want two, and so on, and let's say in this case it's ne vorrei 10. Vorrei questo. I'd like this. Vorrei questo. There is just one particular thing that just grab your attention and you say, I want this. Vorrei questo. Potrebbe farmi uno sconto? Could you give me a discount? Potrebbe farmi uno sconto? Could you give me a discount? So this is quite important, especially if you get around quite often and you want to have discounts on things. Let's say you want to buy you buy like a bunch of things and you want a discount from the seller and you say, posso avere lo sconto, per favore? Accettate le carte di credito? Do you take credit card? Accettate la carta di credito? Do you take credit cards? Potrebbe farmi una foto, per favore? Could you take a picture of me, please? Potrebbe farmi una foto, per favore? Could you take a picture of me, please? That might be happening, you are in front of a very important monument and you want someone to make a photo of you. And then you say, potrebbe farmi una foto, per favore?
Want to speak real Italian from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at ItalianPod101.com.
Welcome to the 10 phrases you always want to hear. Avevi ragione, you were right. Hey, why don't you add some salt? Perché non aggiungi del sale? I don't know. Oh, you were right, it's really tasteful. Oh, avevi ragione, è veramente buono. Ci sarà un bonus alla fine del mese. There will be a bonus at the end of the month. So you will be able to buy that dress that you really wanted, or maybe just save some money to travel. If you get a bonus at the end of the month, se hai un bonus alla fine del mese, save up money. E vinci tu, and you win. Maybe you're in a group of friends and you're discussing about what to do. After all the suggestions, you are the one who suggested the right one. So when everyone are like, yeah, let's do what you said, can be hai vinci tu, and you win. Or hai vinto tu, and you won. Hai fatto un ottimo lavoro. You did a great job. Of course, that's something that everyone would like to hear. Maybe just after some exercise, sports exercise, or school thing. Oh, you did a great job. Hai fatto un ottimo lavoro. It's something that can always apply, and yeah, you can always use it. Ottimo lavoro. Good job. Il budget è illimitato. The budget is unlimited. If you are buying something and you have an unlimited budget, well, that's amazing. You can buy everything. That's probably a dream. The budget is unlimited. Il budget è illimitato. It sounds so nice. Mi manchi. I miss you. Me means to me. So, to me, you are missing, basically. The meaning is the same, of course, but the verb, mancare, literally means something is missing. You can tell that to your partner, your friend, your family. Everyone would be happy to hear that, I think. Prenditi una pausa, farò io le pulizie di oggi. Take a break, I'll do the cleaning today. That's something really nice. Would it ever happen? I hope so. And yeah, let's think it will someday. Maybe it's even nicer to say prendiamoci una pausa. So let's take a break together and let's go somewhere. Let's go on vacation. Andiamo in vacanza. Sei una cuoca eccellente. You are an excellent cook. If you want to say that to a boy, it would be sei un cuoco eccellente. So eccellente stays the same, but cuoco is for boys, while cuoca is for girls. Everything was delicious, era tutto delizioso, or as kids do when they're not talking yet, this is buono, good. That was nice, good to eat. And you turn it. Stai benissimo oggi? You look great today. So if you're like different from the usual and people tell you, oh, you look great today, ah, stai benissimo oggi, that's nice. If you didn't change anything and people still tell you, you look great today, stai benissimo oggi, maybe they have something they would like to ask you or something to be forgiven for. If you want to say, you're really beautiful today, you can also say, sei bellissima oggi, or if it's to a boy, sei bellissimo oggi. Ti ho portato qualcosa di speciale. I brought you something special. And then you start to wonder, what can it be? Cake? Maybe? That would be nice. It's, I brought you something special. Can be maybe your favorite dish, your favorite sweet, your favorite cake, or a present. Would be nice too. So, you answer, grazie, davvero. Oh, thank you, really. Oh, non c'era bisogno. Oh, you didn't have to.
The top 10 phrases you'll need for a date. Let's start. Ti piacerebbe andare a cena con me? Would you like to go out to dinner with me? Ti piacerebbe andare a cena con me? Would you like to go out to dinner with me? Sei libero questo fine settimana? Are you free this weekend? It's actually a kind of very common question because usually people are very busy during the weekend. Weekend time is the best time to spend with your loved one, families, loved one, friends, because you're more relaxed, you have more time. And this is a kind of common question if you want to ask someone for a date. So, are you free this weekend? Sei libero questo weekend? Vuoi uscire con me? Would you like to hang out with me? Vuoi uscire con me? Would you like to hang out with me? It's a very informal way to ask someone to go out with him. Sei così carino. You are so cute. It's usually, in Italy especially, is more common maybe, that males make compliments to females than the opposite thing. But saying you're so cute is quite a very sweet thing to say. Sei così carino. It's not just about the physical appearance, it's also about the approach. If you're kind, you can say, sei così carino, Stai benissimo. You look great. So you can pretty much say this to everybody. Stai benissimo, if someone dresses in a way that you like particularly, so you can say, stai benissimo. Ti chiamerò. I'll call you. So ti chiamerò is actually some other very common phrase, sentence that you can say, that you can actually use for many different situations. So ti chiamerò, I'll call you. Ti riaccompagnerò in macchina a casa. I will drive you home. You can also say ti accompagno a casa in macchina, which means the same thing. A che ora ci vediamo domani? What time shall we meet tomorrow? A che ora ci vediamo domani? What time shall we meet tomorrow? Posso vederti ancora? Can I see you again? Or you can also say like, will I see you again? As in Italian sounds like, ti vedrò ancora. It's a very romantic way to say, that you like someone, that you want to see the person again. Vogliamo andare da qualche altra parte? Shall we go somewhere else? Vogliamo andare da qualche altra parte? Shall we go somewhere else?
Hi, welcome to Introduction to Italian. My name is Alicia, and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I'm Marika.
In this lesson, you'll learn the basics of Italian grammar. Word order refers to the order in which words are structured to form a sentence in a given language. Consider the English sentence, I ate an apple. But first, let's remove the article an here for simplicity. So we're just left with I ate apple. The basic word order for English is subject, verb, object, or SVO for short. If we break down the English sentence, I ate apple, we can see that the subject I is presented first, followed by the verb ate, and then finally the object apple is positioned last. This is the basic word order for sentences in English.
Now let's compare that same sentence, I ate an apple, in Italian. Io ho mangiato una mela. Like before, let's remove the article to keep it simple, so we are just left with the words. If we break down the Italian sentence, we get the subject io, meaning I, then comes the verb ho mangiato, meaning ate, and finally we have the object mela, meaning apple. The basic word order for Italian, then, is SBO. It's the same as English.
This means that you can convert an English sentence into Italian simply by replacing the English words with Italian words, and you'll still be understood.
Italian word order, however, is much more flexible than English. If we swapped the subject and object around, we'd get apple ate I in English, which changes the meaning of the sentence completely. In Italian, however, the core meaning of the sentence does not change. It would still essentially be I ate apple. Mela ho mangiato io.
As you can see, the word order of Italian is quite flexible. More often than not, if you wanted to say I ate an apple in Italian, you would not say
Io ho mangiato una mela.
Instead, you would more likely say ate an apple in Italian.
Ho mangiato una mela. This is because Italian is a null subject language where the word for the pronoun is omitted because it's already implied.
This is because all of the information can be derived from the way the verb is conjugated in the sentence.
For example, the verb aprire means to open. When you conjugate it, it changes according to the subject. Hai aperto la scatola means you opened the box. Hanno aperto la scatola means they opened the box. Let's take a look at another example. Tornare means to return. Siamo tornati a casa in treno means we return home by train. Sono tornata a casa in treno means I return home by train.
Can you see how the subject changes based on the way the verb is conjugated in the sentence?
Okay, let's move on. Negating a sentence in Italian is incredibly simple. All you have to do is to put the word non in front of the verb.
Let's go back to the original example, I ate an apple. The verb here is ate, or
Ho mangiato. In Italian, ho mangiato una mela. To make this sentence negative, simply add non before the verb ho mangiato. Non ho mangiato una mela.
if it were Carla ate an apple, it would be
Carla ha mangiato una mela. Adding non before the verb would make it negative. Carla non ha mangiato una mela. Siamo tornati a casa in treno. Non siamo tornati a casa in treno. You can create any negative sentence in Italian simply by adding non before the verb.
Asking a question in Italian is even easier than making it negative. All you have to do is simply raise the pitch at the end of a sentence to turn it into a question.
Hai aperto la scatola. Hai aperto la scatola?
No rearranging of words is needed.
Hai aperto la scatola. Hai aperto la scatola?
You can create any basic yes-no questions in Italian this way.
If you want to be a little more specific, simply add the question word in front of the question. For example, perché means why. Perché hai aperto la scatola? Quando means when. Quando hai aperto la scatola? And come means how. Come hai aperto la scatola?
Now you know how to create questions in Italian. Well done! We've covered a lot of things in this lesson, so let's recap what we've learned. In this lesson, you learned that Italian sentences can be formed using a subject, verb, object, or SVO word order. Italian tends to omit the subject if that subject is a pronoun. You make a sentence negative by adding non before the verb. To turn a sentence into a question, simply raise your pitch at the end. And if you want to be more specific, just add a question word at the beginning of the question. We've covered only the very basics of Italian grammar. If you're interested in learning more, check out our Italian in 3 Minutes video series. In that course, we teach you useful phrases while covering the fundamentals of Italian grammar, and each lesson is only 3 minutes long.
Hi guys, welcome to ItalianPod101.com. My name is Ilaria, nice to meet you, and today we're going to talk about the must-known expression for agreeing and disagreeing in Italian. So let's start. Beh, non sono sicuro. Well, I'm not sure. Beh, non sono sicuro. Well, I am not sure. Non sono sicuro is something that you use when, of course, you're not sure 100% about something. So you can also say non sono sicuro without the beh, they say just non sono sicuro. Certamente, of course. Certamente, of course. In English you say of course, whereas in Italian you can use also naturalmente and certamente, which are like the same thing more or less. Credo di sì. I guess so. Credo di sì. I guess so. Credo di sì is when you think that something might be the way that the person is saying, but you're not sure. And in Italian you say credo di sì. Stavo proprio per dirlo. I was just going to say that. Stavo proprio per dirlo. I was just going to say that. Stavo proprio per dirlo is more or less like when someone says something very similar to what you are thinking about, really. So if the person match your thoughts, you can say stavo proprio per dirlo. Sì, hai ragione. Yes, you're right. Sì, hai ragione. Yes, you are right. It's definitely like agreeing with someone. Hai ragione means that this person is right in saying what he's saying, according to what you think. So you say, sì, hai ragione, which is like, yes, you're right. Hai torto. You're wrong. Hai torto. You are wrong. Actually is the opposite of hai ragione, I mean, you just state, there is just a position, you are in this position and you state that this person, according to what you think, this person is wrong. So you say, hai torto, you are wrong. Non penso sia così. I don't think so. Non penso sia così. I don't think so. Well, when you say non penso sia così, is more or less like you're not sure about what the person is actually saying. But you're not like in a way that you want to agree nor disagree with the person. You just don't think that the person is just saying, it's just saying something that is true according to you, Forse, maybe. Forse, maybe. Forse is like to say, I think so, That might be yeah, might be no,
It's like the middle position, and a kind of neutral position. Non sono d'accordo, no. I don't agree, no. Non sono d'accordo, no. I don't agree, no. Actually, it's like to say hai torto. I mean, it's like stating a position, you're not agreeing with the person, or the situation, or what is happening, or whatever you think that is not right according to what you think. Sono d'accordo. I agree. Sono d'accordo. I agree. So it's of course the opposite of saying non sono d'accordo. Sono d'accordo means that you agree with what the person is actually saying. With this word, we actually reached the end of our lesson for the must know expression for agreeing and disagreeing in Italian. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, watch our channel, give us some tips and insights about what you want to know in our lovely Italian language. We will be always happy to help you improve in your Italian. Thanks very much for watching us, guys, and see you for our next lesson. Bye bye. Take care.
Ciao! Welcome to Italian Weekly Words. This is Ilaria. And today's theme is, life events. Let's see. I'm curious. Nascita, birth. When I was born. La nascita del mio terzo nipotino mi ha reso molto felice. The birth of my third nephew made me so happy, which is true. He was born just a few days ago. Compleanno. Compleanno. Birthday. Compleanno. Quando è il tuo compleanno? When is your birthday? Il mio compleanno è il 20 gennaio. My birthday is January 20th. Trovare un lavoro. Get a job. Dopo la laurea, i ragazzi in Italia faticano a trovare un lavoro. After graduating at college, young people in Italy struggle to find a job. Trasferirsi, move. Mi sono trasferita in Giappone molti anni fa. I moved to Japan many years ago. Yes, that's true. Andare in pensione, retire. Ok, a little bit early for me, but quando andrò in pensione metterò su una rock band. When I will retire, I will make a rock band, and I will do it one day. We're done. I hope you enjoyed it, and please leave a comment, and see you next time. Ciao, bye-bye.
Hi everybody, Marika here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Italian questions. The question for this lesson is, what are the top 10 most common Italian idioms? It might not be necessary to know idioms in order to communicate in Italian, but they are very effective and fun. Also, if you can use some idioms, you'll sound more fluent. Are you ready to find out 10 of the most common Italian idioms? Let's start. In bocca al lupo. This literally means into the mouth of the wolf. The origin of this expression isn't clear, but Italians use it very, very often to wish someone good luck. If someone says in bocca al lupo to you, you should reply crepi il lupo. May the wolf croak. Costare un occhio dalla testa. Literally, to cost an eye of the head. This has basically the same meaning as the English idiom, to cost an arm and a leg. It means that something costs so much that you'd have to sell a part of your body to be able to afford it. Essere al verde. The literal translation is to be at the green, but it actually means to be broke. This expression is said to have originated in Florence, where the bottom half of auctioneer candles were painted green. When the candle reached the green, the flow of money would come to a stop. Another theory is that the color refers to the inside of a wallet, which you could see once you were out of money. Tra il dire e il fare c'è di mezzo il mare. Idiomatic expressions about the sea are quite common in Italian. This one means, between saying and doing there is a sea in the middle. It means, easier said than done. Italians often shorten this expression and just say, tra il dire e il fare. Una volta ogni morte di papa. Once every time a pope dies. The English equivalent of this expression is once in a blue moon. Both are used about something happening very rarely. Essere al settimo cielo. This idiom has the perfect analog in English, to be in seventh heaven, meaning to be extremely happy. This expression comes from the philosophy on which Dante's comedy is based. According to this philosophy, the earth is in the center of the universe, surrounded by 7 concentric heavens. Seventh heaven was the highest degree of elevation for man. Dormire come un sasso, to sleep like a stone. This idiom is basically the same as English, to sleep like a log. It means that someone is sleeping so soundly that they look like an inanimate object. You can also say dormire come un ghiro, to sleep like a dormouse. Acqua in bocca. The literal translation is water in your mouth. If someone says acqua in bocca to you, they want you to keep it a secret, because of course you can't say anything if your mouth is full of water. Il gioco non vale la candela. The game isn't worth the candle. This expression is of medieval origin. Back then, people used candles at night, and candles could be expensive. Card players used to repay the owner of the house that hosted them with either money or a candle. The saying started to spread among players to indicate games where the winnings were so low that they wouldn't even cover the small expense left for the candle. Tagliare la corda, to cut the rope. This expression means to run away from a situation. It originates from the rope that was used to keep boats tied to the shore. To sail, it was necessary to free the boat first, but if someone was in great hurry, the rope would be cut. Pretty interesting, right? That's all for this lesson and this series. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in another series. A presto! See you soon!
Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.